Hello viewers and welcome to this video conversation on fundas of digital and social marketing. This conversation is brought to you by Nextplan Consulting. And as you're aware, and I'm sure most of you would have seen our earlier video conversations as well, we are running a series called as DNA of a mega brand or DNA of a large brand. And we have been touching several areas of building brand in this series. So we have talked about brand purpose, we have talked about how brand connects with its customers, and also we have talked about consistency which is required for building a brand, including the strategy of the brand. But as a marketer, all of us, we understand, appreciate that the brand context, the brand environment, the external environment keeps on changing continuously. And hence, while the essence and the core of the brand will remain constant, our context and our environment would change, and we will have to change ourselves in that context. I think digital and social media and the changes happening around us is one such big change, which was happening gradually over the last few years, but with, of course, pandemic now, it has been accelerated by multiple times now. So in today's video conversation, we are going to touch upon hence fundas of social and digital marketing. And who is the best person to talk on it? I think someone who has been spending significant amount of time and driving these digital initiatives and digital transformation for his large organization. We thought he would be a very, very right person to do that. And I'm happy to introduce Sumit Chandana. I will take a minute to introduce Sumit. Sumit brings in rich experience of over 18 years, and his experience varies from consulting background as well as multiple commercial leadership roles in organizations like DRL, current organization where he works with Cipla, Jubilant Life Sciences, and also in the consulting stint at Ernst & Young and PwC. Currently, Sumit is driving the strategy role at Cipla, as well as he's heading digital transformation and marketing excellence. As you're aware, Cipla has been pioneer, and Cipla has been driving number of digital initiatives and social marketing initiatives over the last few years. And those initiatives, they touch the lives of doctors, those initiatives, they touch the lives of patients, retailers, and even caregivers. Sumit, with a background from IIT Delhi and from IIM Bangalore, has been pioneering this effort for Cipla over the last few years. I'm sure all of you must have seen the campaign of Berok Zindagi, and Sumit and his team, they have been involved in driving this campaign to quite an extent, and also achieving great KPIs for the brand and for the portfolio with Cipla. Good morning and welcome, Sumit, for this session of fundas of social and digital marketing. So I think my first question to you, Sumit, would be, in the last 4 months, we have seen significant changes happening. 4 months or 6 months rather, we have seen significant changes happening in the environment, and especially in the healthcare environment. And the digital and the social footprint is across various stakeholders is changing rapidly. So whether it is doctor patient, patient retail, doctor pharma, pharma patient, and so on and so forth. So what is your take on that? And as a leading player in this space of digital and social marketing, Cipla, and for variety of therapy areas, you have been running number of initiatives. So what is your take on these changing relationships, and what you think going forward, what portion of it will stick? Over to you, Sumit.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Shriyari. Thanks for the opportunity. So let me first start by saying that pharma industry has been a laggard in adopting digital. There have been years of projections happening of how fast pharma industry will adopt to the digital world. And it required a COVID to accelerate the pace of change. So that's an irony to begin with. And it's also said that the impact of digital in the short term is highly overrated, and its impact in the long term is highly underrated. So I think there is a fundamental shift that is happening. While the last 6 months have been such that it's been very volatile, and what digital has done is to plug in wherever information flow between stakeholders in the entire value chain. It has helped to plug those gaps that were created because of the corona situation. However, I think going forward, many of these things may get reversed, but some of them are, of course, going to stay. And the simple reason is that there is a habit formation that has happened. There is a habit formation that has happened for each one of us, at home, at work, in the way we interact with individuals, the way we consume information, the amount of information we consume. So that dependency on information channels which are around us has gone up tremendously. Let's not forget that the doctor community is a subset of this whole mega change that we're all going through. And I read that in a few years from now, nearly half the doctors practicing in India are going to be millennials. And a millennial doctor himself, the way he is consuming information for his practice, for his personal needs, is going to shape his practice in many ways. So across all the stakeholders, I think at the doctor end, there is a significant change that's happening. I think what we have seen is a lot of noise, because the interest has been to create touch points and more number of touch points, to the irritation of the community as well. So I think we have seen that phase, and a lot of companies, including Cipla, having gone through a phase of prioritizing quantity over quality, and then realizing going the other way around and still trying to find the right balance. So I'm sure every organization, every therapy, every brand messaging has its own journey with the doctors. But there are fundamental shifts that are here to stay, and the digital habits that are being formed at the doctor end are quite key in this whole arena. I think more fundamental is the patient journey, because the equation of doctor-patient itself is undergoing a transformation. If you keep a patient at the center of the entire the reason for existence of the pharma industry, then digital has been a very strong source of information for patients. And that ecosystem around the patient is evolving, and there are so many startups working in that ecosystem that the impact of that on pharma industry is yet to be fully understood. Yeah. So I think at the patient front, at the doctor front, their interaction, at all ends, there is a shift that is happening. If I come closer to a pharma business and I look at the portfolio brands that a pharma company operates with, each of our brands was running a narrative with its patients. And that narrative itself is changing. While we are still trying to reset the context of the brand and the therapies, I think in steady state, there is going to be a shift from the touch point area that we're working on to building the user journeys. And I'm talking about the patient journey and the doctor journey attached. And it's only when we are able to fix that journey of our customers with respect to our brands or therapies is when the real engagement and the satisfaction levels of our stakeholders will start to come about. And I think achieving that satisfaction level is something that we are, at least in Cipla, obsessed about, and we are trying out different ways to make this transition from the touch point to the journeys and then create the ecosystem. Yeah. So, for example, in the respiratory therapy, where we enjoy a certain market share, for us, traveling this journey is relatively easier. However, we know that the challenges in doing so are tremendous. Yeah, and there are real problems to be solved for, and digital is not yet started solving those problems. So we are looking forward to shaping this ecosystem in respiratory and few other therapies as well, wherein we can start giving shape to how a user journey would look like. Yeah. Sorry, I'm missing your other question.
No, I think you articulated very well. I think, and the point what you mentioned is like, what can happen in the short term is, sort of we are expecting too many things to happen, but long term, I think we are underrating the opportunities. Like that's
Yes,
very important
that's
point.
the fundamental point. Yeah.
I think the second important point, which also Sumit you mentioned, is our preference, and that's a behavior of the industry, I would say, of quantity over quality. Yeah, so we all of us, we have come from, I would say, push marketing scenario,
Push marketing.
whereby,
Correct.
yeah, whereby, I'll go and bang on the door of the doctor and then ensure that I get a conversation time. But I think, as we move into the digital and social, it is becoming more and more about permission-based marketing rather than push marketing. I think so. That's the one other fundamental change, I think, and the third point which you mentioned is also very relevant. Going and looking beyond HCPs or beyond doctors to the patient and patient journeys. I think that is going to be very important. And as you mentioned in respiratory, it would be true with a number of other therapy areas where patients, they live with the therapy for long duration and number of years. And I think understanding patient journey is going to be very, very important in those situations. Yeah, so very, very valid sort of, observations. Like, I think moving on, Sumit, my next sort of, the point which I wanted to have interaction is like, while there are umpteen number of social media platforms and digital media available, I think we as an industry probably in last 6 months, if I look at it, we are focused more on, say, e-education, if I use the word, whether there are advisories, whether there are national meeting, international meetings, symposia, the names could be different, but I think the, e-forums and e-education has been one which has been used significantly. I think other one which has been used is a WhatsApp as a medium. So, so in all our conversations with clients, with various teams, and also with doctors as a community, I think these two, they stand out as, being, if I use the word, overused media. Like, so some doctor jokingly other day said that there are two pandemics today, viral pandemic and digital pandemic. And I think, so I think the amount of the bombarding of the material that happens using some of these media is probably too high. Like, so what is your take on various digital and social media, and sort of, what are the sort of, not explored adequately opportunities, or more, what more can be done kind of thing, like, so any thoughts in that direction?
Sure. So Shri, you're right. There was a novelty value of everything when the pandemic started, and even just to get an experience, many doctors, gave feedback that yeah, this is interesting, so we should do more of it. And I guess a lot of that has been done and overdone. Yeah. Having said that, I think education, brand reminders, these kind of brand objectives to some extent have been met with the bombardment that has been done. But there is a brand narrative, and every brand has a certain positioning in the mind of doctor. And we have just been scratching the surface with respect to one-to-one emailers or webinars or WhatsApp related messaging. I think there is, we have to recognize that there are preferences and there are habits which we are still not picking up cue about. And fundamentally, if you ask me, the expectations of doctors from a brand have gone up. Because information is available at the touch, of their phones now. So since they have information to a lot more, since they have access to a lot more information, their expectation from the medical rep, who's the brand custodian in the chamber, in the physical world, expectation from any email marketing, any expectation from a high experience digital event, is to provide information on medicines that help him to take a better decision for the patients. And I think there is a gap there, which is what the next level of revolution in terms of doctor engagement would come about. And it may not be in the domain of existing social media as well. There may be new players which may be emerging who may be able to bring the strength of different social media platforms together. So yeah, I mean, that's what I would like to mention, that there is a power of the network in the social media, which today has not been leveraged to actually transition those doctor habits to meeting expectations that doctors have from brands, therapies, and corporates.
Right. Yeah, I think valid point. So I think one more important point you made beyond just social media and digital media, I think you touched upon indirectly point, Sumit, about the content. So in a way, I think you talked about the relevance of what you are going to say to the customer is going to be a lot more important. Whichever media ultimately you use, customer would be willing to engage, provided your contents are engaging enough, kind of thing. Yeah, and then I think also other important point is like, digital and social media need not be restricted only by YouTube and LinkedIn and WhatsApp and Facebook. Yeah, there are emerging as you mentioned, the startup ecosystem or the platforms or variety of ways you can reach the customers, doctors as well as patients, are I think the new emergence of media.
And Sherry, there the whole content journey. When we reflect back, at least Sipla's journey, we realize that knowing that your content is not up to the mark is one thing, and being able to improve the quality of our content as an institution is another thing. And there is, I think, as you have said in the past also, this whole journey of digital transformation is a lot more about mindset, about transformation, less about digital. And this whole content piece, which is at the heart of this transformation, is exactly stuck at understanding that the content which was earlier in the physical world has to take a new avatar altogether in the digital world. And I think that is something which, as brand management, there is a way to go.
Yeah, I think a valid point, because I mean, what was available as a content in the earlier physical world, it is not just digitalization of that. Yeah, but I think thinking completely different, reimagining probably from the customer's perspective and what the contents will be. Yeah, very valid point. Also, other I think important change, and that definitely I'm seeing happening while we interact with various teams, is probably 2 years back or 3 years back. I think someone would say, oh, I want to do something digital or social, and I'm going to start a website. I'm just taking an example. So many times the starting point was saying I want to do something digital and social because it is a upcoming thing. It's a fad. It's whatever it could be, but I must do something in that space. I think today, at least some organizations are finding that they're taking a step back, saying from my customer journey perspective, customer expectation perspective, my therapy brand context perspective, what are the objectives in the fundamentally I'm wanting to fulfill? And given those objectives, then how digital and social and other media they sort of they are placed. So I think this is very important change in the shift in the mindset of a marketeer, that definitely, yeah, I'm observing at least over say last 2 to 3 years kind of thing, and for good, I would say. So what is sort of your take on that, and how do you see social media, digital media being used for various objectives, marketing objectives of a brand or therapy? How do you see this?
So if I may look at 4 different brand objectives, and maybe we can go step by step. First is increasing depth of prescriptions through my existing prescribers. Second could be increasing the breadth of the prescription itself by expanding the prescriber base or indication usage. Third could be increasing length of therapy by creating a pull or repurchase. And the fourth could be altogether a new stakeholder initiative, which is getting patients, retailers through many different objectives. If I split into these 4 marketing objectives, and I look at different therapies in the marketplace, I think clearly within acute therapies, they are highly competitive, and they have depended more than the share of what a rep could do historically on his face time with the doctors to remind about the brand. And I think here, there's an opportunity to bring the phygital play to increase depth of prescription and the orchestration between what the rep and digital can do to improve brand recall. So that space definitely exists within acute also. For bigger brands, whether acute or not, I think definitely expanding prescriber base, reaching the unreached, using digital is a very big play out there, which is not yet proven. I would say that we all understand that the cost of reaching out to a new customer is lower with digital, but the real cost of conversion is still something that needs to be assessed, sub-therapy by sub-therapy. And that is a direction for the industry as we go along. And if brands are highly substitutable, like pain, gastro, there is a scope for self-medication and hence engaging with new stakeholders like retailers, for example. So within acute, there are multiple plays that are going on and will increase as well. In chronic, I think beyond the others, there is a length of therapy play which is significant. And how does your brand engage with patients directly? And how does it help the patient journey? How does it improve adherence? And how does it also improve the preponement of some of the therapies, which in Indian context is either very delayed, or in many cases it suffers from poor diagnosis to begin with. So how do you prepone and elongate the journey of customers in chronic side is definitely an additional journey which is yet to be played out. And those are significant levers, I think, from a marketing objective standpoint, which are yet to be played out from the digital leverage that we have.
Yeah, I think
Does
very,
that
very
answer
valid.
the question?
Yeah. I think very, very important point. So I think essentially what you're saying is like, what is the brand objective that you have? That is very important to begin with, and then figure it out. What is the suitable, media, social, digital, physical, whatever you want to have. How do we then sort of utilize them? So I think starting with the brand objective is very important point, as I think you mentioned. Also, I think another important lever.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
I'll also
Sorry,
share an
sorry.
example after that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Please go ahead, Sumit.
Yeah, so I do want to speak about the entire Breathe Free campaign, which is our respiratory B2C marketing campaign, where the whole stigma attached to use of inhalers is something which, as an organization, we embarked on a journey to break that stigma in the mindset of patients. And for us, the role was to not just reach out to likely patients, consumers of inhalation as a therapy, but we had to build an ecosystem. And to the fourth lever, which I was referring to, we went out and created Breathe Free chemists to support the entire inhalation journey. We created education counselors to help patients how to use inhalers in the first place. And I think that level of investment, from an organization in any therapy will be required to start giving shape to this ecosystem, which is a long way to go. That's what I wanted to add.
Yeah, I think very important point. So you could visualize all the players or stakeholders involved, and how do we sort of and undertake suitable initiatives at every stakeholder, so that at an overall level, at an integrated level, you get really significant benefit, for the patient outcome point of view, and also for Cipla and Cipla, franchise point of view. So I think it's a very win-win situation, and I think the campaign that you talked about, I think was very, very successful from both the perspectives, patient outcome and outcome from Cipla perspective, The other dimension which I was talking about, and probably the new growth lever, is also given the disruption that has happened in the ecosystem for a doctor. I mean, doctor is not willing to practice, or patients are not willing to come in, and so on and so forth. So how do we get this, incremental, if I use the word, patients flow into the doctor chamber, which has been disrupted? Could be for the short term, or maybe even for the long term. Could be one important lever itself, and digital and social can play a significant role in bringing it back to normal as early as possible, kind of thing. And again, in the process, it's a win-win for pharma, win-win for doctor, and win-win from the patient perspective. So I think that could be another very, very important area. So that brings us to my last point of conversation, Sumit, is we talked about digital, social, we talked about the physical also indirectly. How, as an organization, at the end of the day, can really integrate these efforts happening across the media? So I mean, today, if you look at some of the situations, or some of the doctors, they are saying that 70-80%, or some of the pharma industry, they are saying 70-80% calls, physical calls, have come back. Yeah. So given the situation, and which is going to remain dynamic, it is going to be different in different geographies, different therapies, different for different companies, and so on and so forth. How integration of physical efforts on ground and digital and social, how it can happen, or how it should happen, and how it can really benefit? And any your thoughts, any your ideas, opinions, would be great for the viewers to learn from.
Sure. So data is the new oil. but I think again, in the COVID period, okay, first of all, I don't want to use any jargons because I mean, I think every day we hear about AI, machine learning, and a lot around data. But I think fundamentally, data at the heart of strategy is something which is yet to happen in many places. And ability to bring uh, data in a manner that insights and intelligence can be built upon it is something that is a direction which I'm sure many organizations are moving towards. But it's a significant play out there. There's significant play in deciding how resources should be deployed for the organization, whether it's sales resources, marketing resources, and here time, money, all of that comes together. Whether it's distribution, if I'm having a stock out, do I have visibility to begin with on my secondary flow to know where is a stock out likely to happen going forward? So improving visibility of my physical flows, improving visibility of my information flows from the sales, marketing, distribution side, and being able to bring a layer of data-driven decision making. I think that's the direction. That's a direction which everyone is working towards. But there is also going to be a value for the first mover, a value for the ones who are able to consolidate, bring in the ecosystem closer much faster. And again, there is a role of third parties which are specializing in it, are very close to cracking a part of the problem. But they'll have to come together, and so there have to be organizations which collaborate and give shape to something new, which has not been seen before. I think in that sense, there is a lot to be expected from this industry to happen. There is a hastening of a lot of long pending transformation arenas, which you would have also seen, and a lot of those were remaining on paper. And this is the time where nature is forcing us to accelerate them. So I see that happening a lot more. I think fundamentally, it's easier said digital because there is a capability that is there in the field. There's a capability that we need to develop in head offices, and then there is a simplification required to, make sense of any intelligence that is being built. If an intelligence is unable to lead to a direct action by the feet on the street, I think the battle is lost there. So there are too many moving parts right now, but I think there is a sensitization to the need to bring together physical and digital resources in driving some of this integration, which is like an end state to happen. Yeah. So again, without talking about any jargons, I think end of the day, it is our customers, stakeholders who need to be at the heart of any new design. And as long as we see the customers' journey moving more towards more satisfied space, is when the design will start showing value. Otherwise, we'll keep reinventing something which our customers don't need. And let's remember that our customers are not in a static environment. Post-COVID, our customer base is themselves upskilling, upgrading, getting used to a new normal. So to design something for a customer whose habits are still to be reaching a steady state is always going to be difficult.
Yeah, I think you summarized it well, Sumit. Very important point. And the last point that you talked about, data and how data and information is getting used, I think is very, very important point. And that is going to impact lives across the departments, across the sections of the organization. And hopefully that will lead to better decision making on various fronts. So to summarize, I think, Sumit, it was a great interaction with you. And then a few of the thoughts for the benefit of viewers, I will like to once again summarize quickly. I think you talked about the habits and the digital and social habits that have changed over the last 6 months. Definitely a good portion of them, they are likely to stay. Now only time will tell which and how they stay, but I think they are going to stay. So we are not going to come back to normalcy as it was probably in 2019. That is one very important area. Second thing is, I think customers and understanding customers and especially patient journeys is something which is going to be very, very important now for every marketer to think of. So saying that only my HCP is my only customer, I think is not going to be adequate. And hence patients, retailers, caregivers, all the stakeholders and patient journeys are going to be very, very important. I think the third point which came up is about the contents. And as we move from push marketing to more permission-based marketing, I think the contents, the quality, the relevance is going to be very, very important. And I think marketers will have to apply their minds on that as well. I think the fourth or the fifth point which came out very clearly is the marketing objectives. Yeah, and then depending upon what kind of therapy area, what kind of brand you are having today, what are your marketing objectives, and your choice of your media or what you want to achieve out of digital and social will depend upon sort of the brand objectives that you have in place. So you cannot be having digital and social strategy or tactics in isolation of your brand objectives. I think that is another important point. And the last point is that how do we integrate digital, social, and physical on the ground, and how data-driven decision making will be really helpful for that. Where were some of the very important points that came out of the conversation with you, Sumit. And then I think your points are very valid because also you have been a practicing leader in this space, and currently driving this whole digital transformation exercise at Cipla. And hence, I think your thoughts, your opinions, your views, your experiences would be of immense benefit for all the marketeers.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.